Hello, everyone. Welcome to our final episode of the year for Empathy Power Up. This is Kevin Shaw and the amazing
Amy
Amy Wilson.
Wilson. Hello.
We are so excited to do our final episode on this beautiful Tuesday, where we're really just taking a moment to reflect on this past year, do a wrap up, and look ahead towards the future as we take in all what we have learned, how we've grown, and the impact that we have made in the world. So I am really excited to have this wrap up and celebrate. That's why I got myself a little shiny celebration top, and it's a crop top,
Mhm.
but it's great. And Amy looking
I
fabulous on the
love a
couch.
crop top.
Beautiful pant.
I'm bringing some Christmas cheer today,
Yeah.
some holiday cheer because it is Christmas week. So that's exciting for those
Yay.
who celebrate it, of course. But happy holidays to everybody else. And I hope you get to spend some time with your family and friends and the people you love. So,
Yeah, feel the love, love yourself. And today I would love to first learn about
mhm,
what
mhm.
just let's wrap up our year. What was our year like, Amy? Can you help understand?
Wow. I have to acknowledge that I didn't put this on the show notes that I gave you, but I was like, you know what? I've been doing a lot of reflection recently, and a big proponent of reflection because I learn a lot from it. But I launched my book this year, right?
Yeah,
That's so incredible, right?
it
And
is.
there's not enough celebration that happens, especially like launching a book in the middle of a pandemic, which is
Yeah.
still raging across the country and is getting worse. So that is something I'm really grateful for. And also in the past year, you and I have gotten to know
We
each other,
we
and we
met. We met. It doesn't feel like it, right? It feels like we've been knowing each other forever.
know.
And we met in 2021.
Yes, we met and then we became like instant friends. And I just got off had a virtual coffee with somebody who is an empathy coach. And she literally said this, and I think it's so appropriate here that I wanted to bring into this is that when you meet and talk to people who are living in their purpose and have done the internal work, it's so easy to connect to them, right?
Oh,
Right?
yeah, I love
Right?
that.
And so that's kind of how we connected too. It's like, oh, like the all that facade that we put up is is gone, right? And you're just like you can be yourself. And that is something to be celebrated, and I think we need a lot more of that because we need to take those facades off. Um
Love that. What a great way to kick off, Amy. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I know you wanted me to tell some stats. I looked them up. We use Restream to do this streaming up on all these services. So this year we did 26 shows. Like
Yeah, wow.
so much more than I thought we did. I was like, oh yeah, when you look back on it, you don't actually get to see like all the things that you did. So we took the month of August off for to relax. So we started in April on April 20th, and so since then we've done 26 shows. The average session we've had was 18 minutes and 47 seconds. Thank you to Restream for that.
Our target has been 15. Our average is 18. I'll take it.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, and so then I went and looked at like what are the topics that we talked about this past
Yeah.
year. So we started off, logically in a way like following a lot of the things in my book, but as I could see over the year that I have been learning a lot and I've been bringing it into the conversation. And as a result, I think you've been also learning with me and I've been processing it live with you. Um, so the topics that started off was like we talked about our empathy deficit disorder, which these are topics I bring about in my book. Culture change equals a high failure rate, and why does that is that happening, and what we can do about it, and then taking action, which is that part 3 of the book. So that's kind of more aligned to the book. But then we also have things where it's like has to do with the workplace, and it's like feeling seen and heard. We did a 2-part series on that. We did a 4-part series on understanding trauma because I read Rasma Menakam's book,
Yeah.
and I just was like, let's go deep. Let's talk
And
about this.
I think that was a deep dive into that experience. And we talked about trauma, we talked about generational trauma. And I think that was such a powerful month that I think we spent together. Almost like you spend 1 hour with us over the 4 episodes, you watch those 4 episodes, and you will really have a great foundation to build on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And like to help us understand trauma, it's almost like I'm not gonna say a master class because we're not masters at this. We're
Well,
just learning.
we are just passionate people who want to help ourselves and make an impact in the world.
Exactly. And I think that brings to mind the quote that I have at the beginning of my book that I keep coming back to. You are not here merely to make a living. You are here to make the world live more amply with a finer spirit of hope and achievement. You are here to enrich the world, and you impoverish yourself if you forget this errand. And I think we were living into that purpose, right? Of just
Yeah.
like trying to make the world a better place, giving them some doses of this work. So definitely awesome. So thanks for acknowledging that. And then towards the end of this year, we started talking about how do you share love in the workplace, which I think was the most watched one we've had so far, just looking at the stats. How to be human at work. And then also just how to be human, period, right? Like what does human
What
mean?
is human? I love diving into that. That was amazing.
Philosophical conversation.
Yeah.
And then just last week we talked about the 5 dysfunctions of a team. And we'll have a blog post coming up very soon about that and talked about some of the work we're doing on healing from dysfunctional workplaces. So
Yeah.
and then
That was really good.
Go ahead.
No, I said that was really good. Yeah. Please
Yeah.
continue.
I know, learn a ton, and and hopefully you did as well. And then we've got guests. We had 5 guests this year. Everything from like a friend and colleague, Erica Ginsberg, who's writing a book about creative resilience, and that's when we talked about imposter syndrome. Right, that was a big topic. We had Edwin Rutsch, who we both love.
Yeah. Empathy
Yeah.
circles. Yeah.
Yes, his empathy circles and the building a culture of empathy movement that he's building. We had Grin Lord, which you wanted to bring on board.
Yeah, it's another person who's building empathy into tech using AI and various other. Yeah.
Yep. And then your very own Ryan Driscoll.
Ryan Driscoll. Yeah, our Jago's chief learning officer. He's just an incredible human who's doing some. He's going to school just to continue learning. He's learning about policy and applying policies around environment and social and all of these so that we can then bring those into the corporate world and how do we apply policies better as well. And so a lot of great opportunity there.
Yep. And then our final guest that we had a while back is Kathy Kepliner. And she is building a movement on like, we're good enough.
Yeah, yeah. Right? No, billboards. Yeah, putting billboards out there about you are good enough. Yes.
Exactly. And just as a reminder that we are good enough and we should step into doing what we should be we want to be doing and should be doing in the world as much as we can.
Yeah, honestly, I would push that even further. I would, if I next version of the billboard should say, "You are amazing." Not that you are good enough. You are amazing. You are an awesome human being, and that's what each of us need to hear. Need to feel that love. So absolutely, and if you are listening to this whenever, you do know that not only are you good enough, but you are amazing. Each of us have this unique superpowers that make us amazing. That I may be terrible at surfing or skateboarding or any of like balance things because I naturally cannot do balance well. But I know I'm amazing at other things. And so lean into the things you're amazing in, understand the things you're not, and keep learning. And that's
that's the meaning of life, I think. new
I mean,
things.
yeah, it's a moment you're here, it's a moment you're there, and you're gone, right? And in the middle, it's really us trying to back to your quote in the book, right? Live if you live fulfilled lives, find happiness as long as it does not do intentional or unintentional harm to others. And that's
Mhm.
really what it means. Like just today I was on Twitter and someone posted like, oh, why is it that people post multiple cities as their location on their profile? It was just on gay Twitter or something. And we're like, stop doing that. I'm like, what harm is this person causing if their profile says 3 cities? What harm does it cause to anyone? Why
Yeah.
is it your job to police them? Why is it your job to tell them to stop? If you don't like
Mm.
it, don't look at it. If you don't like it, it's really not that. So that's if we all approach that mantra and think, okay, if that person is doing something that making them happy, but not causing any harm to others, intentionally or unintentionally,
Mhm.
directly or indirectly, then why does it matter? Let them be happy.
Mm. Absolutely, I agree with that.
Anyway,
And why do you have to be a curmudgeon about these kinds of things?
yeah, let
Yeah.
it go. Like what or share your story. Share why it caused you harm. Maybe that's how you should. It's
Mhm.
like, hey, by someone putting that society, I fell in love and I realized that they were lying to me because
Mm.
they weren't in that city of much offer, right? Share your story so
Mm.
then other people can
Yeah.
understand. Be that vulnerable.
Yeah.
Don't tell people what to do. Share your
Yeah.
story and live the values.
It makes me think about that conversation that Stephen Covey says is like understand first before being understood,
Hmm. Hmm.
and if we live that value a little bit
Hmm.
more, what would we be like, right? What would the world
Yeah.
be like? So
So I invite everyone to reflect. One of the, like as this conversation we go in, we reflect at the end of the year. We reflect on what we have learned.
mhm.
Celebrate the mistakes. Celebrate those. Hug
Mm.
those mistakes. Make them part of you because those mistakes are what make you amazing. Because we learn
Mhm.
from it, we grow from there. Celebrate the successes, like Amy's book launch.
Yay.
Celebrate successes, celebrate growth as you as a person, new friendships, new connections, new perspectives that you come in to learn.
Mhm. Mhm.
I truly felt there was moments during the year I felt as part of the Empathy Power Up a student. There are parts where I
Mm.
felt as the teacher. There are parts I felt as a participant, as a colleague, as a community member. And those
Mhm.
moments were really precious and helped me feel so much more fulfilled and impactful. I feel like the people who lean into this can go back to their lives with more of that self purpose and joy. What were
Mm.
some of your reflections, Amy?
Well, yeah, I as I reflected back on this experience, I think um you know although it's interesting, like when you see the numbers, when you're having these conversations, you're just like, oh, okay, like not a lot of people are watching this, but then later people find this on their feeds. So, and then also having these conversations, what's interesting, um I used to hate speaking in public, right?
Oh.
And because I was the shy little girl, I didn't really know who I was. The feeling of I'm not good enough was deep inside of
Mhm,
me. But what's interesting is that these conversations, like we're hosting them live. Like
mhm,
whatever comes out of our mouth comes out of our mouth, right? And this has allowed me to get more comfortable with being live and really being in my skin
mm,
and just being like, you know what? I have a lot of things I want to offer to the world. And I also I don't know if you noticed because I have such a beautiful face already, but
mhm,
I don't wear any makeup. I do not so like I wanted to feel accepted and loved how I am. And
mhm.
I think that's a big change that happened in the pandemic. A lot less women are just being like, let me just put a full face of makeup on. And I look fabulous when I put makeup on and I can do that. But I also was like, I don't want to share like a fake view of myself. And I do wear makeup from time to time. So
I
um
am trying, by the way, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that. You are beautiful with and without makeup, in
mhm,
whatever expression that you bring to the space is just full of joy, love, and care. So thank you for
mm,
that. Um, I, by the way, I'm trying to learn how to do makeup. I have no experience or knowledge. I'm trying to because I feel like it for some experiences, like if I go to a bar, like a event or like a vacation, I would love to have some eye makeup and just look fabulous, because that I feel like it
Yeah.
empowers you sometimes.
Yeah,
And so I'm excited about that. But yes, I feel like I found this amazing friend, sister, best friend, empathy hero, and all of this I found in you, and we build this. We're
Yeah.
building this community slowly and steadily with love and care, and making an impact. And so this year, the
Mhm.
my Tuesdays were always the days that were the busiest from work wise, but with Empathy Power Up, I always was excited because that was when I could come in and geek out about empathy, which is amazing. And for all the skeptical people out there or cynics out there for empathy, empathy is a superpower. It doesn't mean you forget the larger narrative that the system is set up. You work within that
Mhm.
narrative. You understand that, and that's where empathy becomes more powerful. Not on its own. Nothing on its own out of context is good. Bring
Yeah.
it into the context. Context matters.
Context matters. And really, empathy is a whole body kind of response to, right? Like we've talked about this before. That's why I have a head, a heart, and a hand on the front of my book. It really is about, connecting your mind, right? Through your emotions and then into compassion, into
Mhm.
caring more about other people out there. So, that's something that I hope you got from the conversations to this year, and we'll just continue to have some more of that looking into the future of this year. So, do you see what's in the what you see? What do you see in the future, Kevin?
Oh my gosh, what do I
Yes.
see in the future? More learning, diving deeper into some of these. Like I would love to have a conversation with people who are anti-empathy to see if we can have a conversation around them. I would love to learn more and dive deeper into um, narcissism, cynicism, and talk through some of those characteristics as well. And how do we
Mhm.
break that down? And then just would love to start sharing some stories of success of people who brought empathy into their life. Would If you have one,
Mhm.
reach out. We would love to share your story.
Yep. Yep. Or if you
What
want to
about
be
you?
a guest, if you want us to bring a guest or anything, any kind of conversation that you would like us to have, I think there's no conversation we won't do. Like, we will talk about anything and everything. So for those who are watching this, thank you for being here and watching us, even if you watch one session or if you've been here for all 26 of the sessions, that's amazing. We love you and we're so grateful that you listen in and get to spend time with us every
Oh,
week.
yes, we see you. We listen to your comments. We feel your energy. Thank you for it. Y'all have given us a space to be ourselves and learn.
Mhm.
So thank you for that.
And that's a gift to the world. We're giving that gift, and hopefully, you get to give the gift back. So, thank you. Have the best holidays season coming up. Spend time with your loved ones, and we'll see you on the flip side. Bye.